am so thrilled that my whole week is going to be defined by the inspiration and the innovation and the joy that I know we're going to ignite today. So good morning. All right. My name's Angela Jackson, and you may know me as the co-founder, managing director of the Portland Seed Fund, or as the director of the Center of Entrepreneurship here at PSU, or even your recurring MC now on our 4th annual Elevating Impact Summit. It's been such a delight for me to be an MC of this event numbers of times. Today, we're back with an even bigger, more interesting, inspiring journey. Most importantly, I get to be your guide today, or one of your guides anyway. And it turns out it's a perfect day to start this journey. We're even on a perfect set for such a pioneering voyage. This is just incredible to be at Portland Center Stage in the middle of the Pacific Northwest play Astoria. Has anybody seen it? It's a good play. It's a very interesting play, rife with entrepreneurs and innovators and pioneers a lot like ourselves. So a perfect day, a perfect set, perfect place to embark on the perfect journey. And how many of you have been to the summit before, the Elevating Impact Summit? That's a nice show of hands. Excellent. Well, welcome back. And for those of you who haven't, this event is a production of the Impact Entrepreneurs, an initiative of PSU's School of Business. The Impact Entrepreneurs team has set out to advance collective knowledge and inspire action. They bring us together as thinkers, doers, and experts from across industries and from eclectic backgrounds to build innovative solutions to social, environmental, and economic impact. Impact Entrepreneurs runs academic programs, professional trainings, workshops, field studies, and events like this, with collaborations across campus and the community driving them. In 2012, Impact Entrepreneurs also was recognized as an Ashoka Changemaker Campus. This is an incredibly prestigious designation. We're very proud of Impact Entrepreneurs at PSU and in Portland and the global community here. So all that brings us to right now, and I want to provide some orienting words before we begin our journey together. This whole day was curated for you, not as a bunch of parts, but really as a day-long journey or narrative. One experience will lead into the next and the next, right here in this theater. So to get the most out of it, we encourage you to stay with us the length of the whole day, and it will go by quickly. This year's theme is from ancient mythology to future technology. I know we can all relate to that. We're going to peer into a rapidly developing future and look at the social entrepreneurs shaping new industries and new technologies. We'll also have time to reflect on what we're taking in. Speakers will consider what we've learned so far, what lessons can be taken away from the recent past and even the ancient past, all to inform us for a better future for all. So in addition to the speakers on stage, you get to curate the experience and make it personal to you. So did everyone get their summit guide? All right. I love this summit guide. If you're like me, you also brought your special markers when you have cool guides with things to fill in. So I'm going to be keeping along with my special markers with the day. Going to point out page 2 is your agenda for the day. Then on page 4, this is where the markers come in. You've got places for you to write and jot notes on page 4 and also 24. This is where there's bubbles, things to Google, quotes you might want to capture, what gave you goosebumps. I'm super excited about this. So make it your own. Enjoy, and in between there's just a lot of great information on our speakers and topics and all kinds of good stuff. So, next thing I want to point out as your wayfinder for the day, there will be a Changemaker exhibit upstairs in the mezzanine as well throughout the day. Each of the organizations that you'll meet will have valuable resources, opportunities, activities, and networks that you're going to want to learn about. They're pivotal parts of our Changemaker City. We also want to extend a big thank you. None of these events come together without key sponsors and supporters. Let us thank the Lemelson Foundation, Providence Health and Services, Global PDX, Beneficial Bank, Albina Community Bank, PSU's Institute for Sustainable Solutions, Point West Credit Union, PSU School of Business Administration, and the Coraggio Group. We also want to especially thank the individual donors who made scholarships available for our student attendees today. Many of them are B Corps, by the way. We also want to thank so many in-kind donors who've provided free, yummy, and wonderful things for you. And finally, our community partners who helped support and promote the event. Thanks to the organizing team for pulling these great sponsors and partners together. Yeah. And finally, you'll get many chances to thank our speakers and Pitch Fest finalists. Pitch Fest finalists are probably going to be the bravest people in the room today. But before we dive in, let's silence our cell phones. And I now have the pleasure to introduce you to an old friend of mine and an old friend of Impact Entrepreneurs, David Sawyer. He's been as close an advisor as any since the beginning of Impact Entrepreneurs. He's a strategy guy for a better world. He's played key roles in a variety of fields, from education reform, national service, network entrepreneurship, venture philanthropy, to impact investing. His recent work has focused on systems change for oceans, girls and women, regions, and cities. He's currently strategy director at Converge and president of Context. Please join me in welcoming David Sawyer. Thank you.
Well, greetings, change makers. It's good to see all of you here today. This is a very global audience, and as you know, we live in dramatic times. Over 100 years ago, United States President Woodrow Wilson said something I think you will find fascinating. There will come a time when America will be surprised to find herself grown old, crowded, and perplexed, when she will be obliged to pull herself together, curb her excesses, restrict her vagaries, and trust her best, not her average citizens. When I look at this room today, I see her best citizens, and if you are not a U.S. citizen, the same is true. You are one of the best citizens of your country because you are the people, and we are the people who believe in the positive evolution of human civilization, and we are dedicating our lives to that cause, are we not? I read something last year that summed up for me what's happening on the planet right now rather nicely. The social philosopher Tom Atlee said, "Things are getting better and better and worse, faster and faster in bigger and bigger ways." I was like, well, that nails it. Better and better, worse and worse, faster and faster in bigger and bigger ways. And when I think about the things that are getting worse, I don't need to go there. You know what they are. I know what they are. But there are so many things getting better, and that's the side of history that we have all found ourselves on, that we've all committed ourselves to. Impact Entrepreneurs is all about that. That's what this entire gathering of people have, deep in the core DNA of their own souls, believe in a better world and that things can get better and better. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for that, for you being those people. As you know, Impact Entrepreneurs represents innovation, all sorts of innovation, not only business for a better world, but nonprofits working together and public sector, the economic sector, this idea that somehow we can all collaborate in a new way. And that's something in the last couple of years, especially now, has become ever clearer to me, that business can't do it alone. Nonprofits can't do it alone. Philanthropy can't do it alone. American philanthropy in 2015 invested $373 billion. Won some battles, have not yet won the war. Silicon Valley billionaires can't do it alone. Tech can't do it alone. Education can't do it alone. Higher education can't do it alone. Government can't do it alone. Mayors can't do it alone. Congress and the president definitely cannot do it alone. Somehow, we are going to have to work together across every kind of difference in ways we have never done before, learn to collaborate just in an extraordinary way. Don't you agree? I mean, one could argue that the future of human civilization at this point really depends on our ability to collaborate across every kind of difference. If we're going to create the nation that Teddy Roosevelt, another US president, spoke of when he said, "This country will not be a good place for any of us to live in until it is a good place for all of us to live in." So this ability to collaborate across sectors and every kind of difference is what I am really concentrating on right now when I think about the complex challenges we face in the world. And I love what Johnetta Cole said when she was president of historically black Spelman College in Atlanta. We are for difference, for accepting difference, for respecting difference, for celebrating difference, until difference doesn't make any more difference. So, let's get a look at the differences in this room, because this is also an extremely diverse room. And I'm going to introduce you something called stand up, sit down. So if this category applies to you, I want you to stand up quickly and just look around and see who else it applies to. And that will sort of roll us into our day and get you moving, get your brain whirring a little bit. So if you work in the nonprofit sector, would you please stand up? Look around, everybody. Good, thank you. If you work in the public sector, in government somewhere, would you please stand up? Excellent. If you work in the business sector, please stand up. Good, 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 good. If you are a professor, a teacher, please stand up. At PSU or any college, please stand up. Thank you for your work. If you are a university student, let's have it. Come on. Excellent. If you're a high school student, would you please stand up? Check it out. The change makers, moving right along. Big block of you. Hope you all move around over the course of the day and let everybody get to know you. If you have a PhD, would you please stand up? If you wish you had a PhD, would you please stand up? If you were born in Oregon, please stand up. All right. If you were born in the US, please stand up. If you were born out of the US, would you please stand up? I love that. Excellent. That's excellent. All right, if you're under 30, would you please stand up? All right, that's good. If you're under 40, would you please stand up? All right. And we're going to stop there. If you are married, would you please stand up? That's good. Thank you. If you wish you were married, would you please stand up? If you wish you weren't married, would you please stand up? If you have children, would you please stand up? It's good. If you have grandchildren, would you please stand up? Thank you for raising the next generation of change makers. All right, we're a diverse country, a diverse world, so little ethnicity here. If you have Native American blood, would you please stand up? Excellent. Yeah, we stand for inclusion in the Impact Entrepreneurs world, do we not? If you have Asian Pacific Islander blood in you, would you stand up? All right, African American, so please stand up. Thank you. Hispanic, Latino, Latina, please stand up. All right. Caucasians, let's see it. As usual. If you're all mixed up and probably got a lot of that in you, please stand up. Yeah. So I used to ask men and women, but we live in such a gender fluid world right now that I'm a little terrified to do that. And so just whatever you are, I love it and respect it. Wherever you see yourself on that scale of gender fluidity, good for you. And I'm definitely not going to ask your political affiliation. And I'm certainly not going to ask who you've voted for recently. What I will say is I honor your belief system, wherever it came from and however you think about the world. Because until I can take responsibility for seeing past my judgments into who you are and why you think the way you do and why you do what you do, I cannot ever put someone else down. So that's one of the things I'm learning just in the last couple of months, that it's on me to be a bigger person, to be a smarter person, to be a kinder and more empathetic person than I've ever had to be before. And I sure. And I bet many of you would say the same thing in your own way. So last thing before we start, I just want you to partner up with one person. So if you're sitting away, you can turn behind yourself, you can turn sideways, you can turn if you can talk to somebody you don't know, but just very quick, what we would call a laser pair and share. And I'm talking 30 seconds apiece, really tight. Introduce yourself. Why are you here? What do you hope to get out of this day? So just be really friendly, reach out, connect with one person you don't know if possible. Why are you here? What do you hope to get out of this day? 30 seconds apiece, really fast. Go for it.
Yeah. I left it that way. Awesome job, Mrs. Frank.
Thank you. All right. All right, everybody. Here's what I'd like for you to do. I would like for just a smattering of people, maybe 5 or 6, to just stand up in one sentence, one breath, say your first name, I'm John, I'm here, boom. Brave people, extroverts, this is your moment. Come on, somebody's. Not an infomercial. Just why are you here? Amen. Thank you. More.
I'm Adam Creighton, and I'm here with Insta Global PDX to help build the social venture nonprofit impact community. Yeah!
Yeah. More.
My name is Philip Crane. I'm here as part of Global Homestead Garage and Shop People for Sustainability Focused Makerspace Community Center, holding Wednesday evening resist meetings.
And you're here to.
And I'm here to connect with all these people here. I got an MBA from DSU in sustainability and reconnect with this whole great network of speakers.
Good. I like it.
I'm Tara Brown. I go to PSU. I'm getting my MBA and work with the nonprofit sector. So I'm here to meet some people so we can start making some changes in this world.
I like it. 2 more. Thank you. Every single one of you could have stood up and done that. So just think for a moment. These are the best citizens. This is what's getting them better and better. And you heard it, and please, throughout the course of this remarkable day, get to know some amazing people. Don't just hang with your homies. Get out there, and extroverts, help the introverts. Connect, that will, you're gonna have to make the first move. Before I leave, I want to introduce our next speaker, Carolyn McKnight. And you can read her bio, but I want to say some things about her you might not know. She started out as a banker. She worked for the governor of Oregon early in her career. Yes, corporate exec in tech. I learned about Carolyn on an airplane traveling across the country, reading a Newsweek article about the MBA Plus program, which was about bringing leadership and emotional intelligence and social intelligence into business schools. This was a long time ago, and I was like, I have to meet this woman. So that was fascinating to me. This was pre-Impact Entrepreneurs, which she launched in 2009 with Cindy Cooper. And among the other amazing things this amazing human being has done is lead international trips, social innovation field trips, along with others for over a decade. She's on her way to Central Mexico tomorrow and then to Jordan next week. And she just travels and does good work all over the world. She has a passion, an unrelenting commitment to empowering people to make great choices, to make the world a better place. A little known fact about her, she's also a mythologist, and she is going to tell you what that means. And finally, speaking to my colleagues here at Impact Entrepreneurs, she would not say this about herself, but I think all of us would agree that if there was a central strand of DNA in Impact Entrepreneurs, one person more responsible than anybody for making this happen, I think it's Carolyn McKnight. Please join me in welcoming her.